The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and welcome to TV1 News. I'm Rex Litter. In this edition, creation of new special purpose authority questioned, Papua LNG moves closer to investment decision, and remains of missing U.S. soldiers repatriated. Prime Minister James Marape has assured the people of Papua New Guinea that a comprehensive report from Kumul Petroleum will be presented in Parliament. This report will detail the expenditure related to the PNG LNG project, ensuring transparency and accountability in how funds have been utilized.
The report in Kumul Petroleum will come in its fullest. And it's in the interest of every one of us to understand what has happened to this money that has gone to Kumul Petroleum. I give an assurance to this House. The entire earnings from Kumul Petroleum, from shipment 1 to the last shipment, will present to this House and the people of this country as a full benefit of the money that has come in, that is meant for the benefit of our country. So we give him full assurance. 12 billion or 13 billion is still growing as we speak. Whatever money comes from Kumul Petroleum, it is our people's money. We'll make sure this House and the country knows about how Kumul Petroleum has spent their funds from 2014 onwards.
Developer of Papua LNG, Total Energies, has assured the national government that the final investment decision for this project will be announced later this year. Prime Minister James Marape announced this yesterday following his return from a bilateral visit with French President Emmanuel Macron last week.
While a confirmed date was not announced as to when the final investment decision for the Papua LNG project will be made, Prime Minister James Marape confirmed that a FID for this project is expected to be announced this year. And in preparation for this, he said the state is actively processing the development forum, which is scheduled to commence between late June and early July 2026 to mobilize local landowners, the Gulf provincial government and Central Province. The Prime Minister said he met with the Total Energy CEO, Patrick Poyen, who affirmed that Papua LNG remains a priority project and will not be abandoned. The Prime Minister urged the project's joint venture partners, Total Energy's ExxonMobil and Santos, to resolve internal differences and present a single unified position to the state to ensure the 2026 deadline is met.
They will, as joint venture partners, resolve their own issues. They will come to state together on what state need to do in as far as progressing the project is concerned. I want to announce to our country, Mr. Puyana confirms Papua is not abandoned. Papua is still #1 priority for Total and ExxonMobil.
While acknowledging that Papua LNG is a 6.6 trillion cubic feet or TCF project, significantly smaller than the 80 TCF projects Total Energies and ExxonMobil operate in Africa, he emphasized its importance to the country. The project has undergone cost restructuring to ensure commercial viability. Initial tender was evaluated at $18 billion, which was deemed financially unfeasible by Total Energies, with a revision made and brought down to approximately $14 billion through a secondary bidding process. Prime Minister Marape said although the state has rejected requests for free incentives or concessions to maintain a strict give-and-take approach to better protect state share in the project, it was willing to offer technical assistance.
And we said there will be no free incentives. There must be a give or take. We should look into how best that state will not make concession, but we can give you some help, but state can also without compromising state take. So those discussions has been going back and forth.
The Prime Minister reassured the public that the cost structure of the gas agreement signed in 2019 remains completely unchanged despite market disruptions brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. Following intense negotiations with Total Energies to secure better returns for local landowners and provincial governments, the state validated the agreement in late 2019 with its core structural frameworks intact. Ruth Rungula, TVWAN News.
Furthermore, the Prime Minister outlined the government strategy to sequence major oil and gas projects to ensure continuous activity to 2040. He said the Pyongyang LNG project secures a 63% benefit share for Papua New Guinea, compared to Papua LNG at around 49% and PNG LNG at 48%. He said the Pasca A project would see MRDC holds 50% of the venture with a total state take, including tax, reaching about around 70%.
If Papua goes off this year, it will mean first gas from Papua in 2030, 31, 32. Whilst the gas comes into production, the LNG partners will be looking at bringing Pyongyang into construction. So what it effectively means from Papua LNG to Pyongyang LNG, possibility of Muruk, there's a field called Muruk, a gas field called Muruk in tucked in between Hela and Western Province, that will also be brought into the picture. We got Pasca LNG, currently Pasca, I beg your pardon, not LNG, Pasca condensate. It's a small oil project, 400 million barrels of oil project in the Gulf of Papua. It's currently run 50% by MRDC and 50% by the investors, Twinja. So all this will see PNG having oil and gas construction related activities from 2027, possibly all the way to 2040.
Prime Minister James Marape has announced that the government will soon convene a major consultation involving the Electoral Commission, political parties and stakeholders to discuss election preparations ahead of the 2027 National General Election.
We would be asking the Electoral Commission and the team to indicate to all political parties and any stakeholders on the election preparation. A lot of commentaries out there in the public space. I want to give assurance to everyone that our government stands ready to give support to the electoral process, election process, to the best we can, so that everyone has a fair chance in voting for your leaders of choice in the election that is coming up next year. So we'll call this meeting sometimes, and all political parties, opposition, government, those who are not in parliament, and any stakeholders who have an interest in election preparation would be invited to attend, and possibly next week when parliament is in session.
Former Prime Minister and member for Yalibu Pangia Peter O'Neill, while commending the government's decision to create a special purpose authority for the landowners of the PNG LNG project, he also questioned why the Prime Minister was a trustee on this board instead of allowing the landowners and provincial governments to manage these themselves. O'Neill raised this concern in a supplementary question following Iduhu's questions.
Former Prime Minister and member for Yalibu Pangia, Peter O'Neill, in a supplementary question commended the Prime Minister and his government up front for finally offloading the 4.27% Croton shares. However, he was concerned about the composition of the new Special Purpose Authority Board. O'Neill emphasized the importance of ensuring that landowners receive their fair share of benefits from the project, which he believes is crucial for empowering local communities and fostering sustainable development in the communities. He further expressed hope that this initiative would lead to more effective management of resources and promote greater accountability in the industry. Marape, in response, blamed the past governments for not giving the landowners the right to purchase these shares back then. Freddie Mo, TV1 News.
TV1 News continues after the break. Stay with us.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSB's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with PSB's One Talk Wallet. PSB's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
When you're all in, anything can happen. Grab a Coca-Cola and enjoy the moment.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, P&G é minha. Prime P&G made.
Cold Power Citrus Blast uses stain-fighting active particles to remove dirt, grease and stains from your family's washing with less scrubbing and rubbing, reducing wear and tear and saving you time. Cold Power Citrus Blast has an amazing citrus fragrance that gives that extra freshness that will last all day long.
You have to meet my best friend. She's the sweetest. Hey, check out my hair.
Which one? The one on your head or the one in the sink? Relax. Next time, just use the Mega Growth Anti-Damage Relaxer. It's infused with wonder oils and conditioning proteins for visibly less hair breakage after retouching. Now your hair looks great.
Thank you.
Mega Growth Anti-Damage No Light Cream Relaxer for visibly less hair breakage after retouching.
Welcome back. Member for Wabeg, Dr. Lino Tong, in a supplementary to Kumai's question, raised concerns on the floor of Parliament today, seeking clarification on businesses reserved for locals. Dr. Tom said many small to medium enterprises reserved for local people are now being taken over by foreigners.
Member for Wabeg, Dr. Lino Tom, raised significant concerns in Parliament today regarding the reservation of businesses for local citizens. He sought clarification on the issue, highlighting that many small-medium enterprises intended for local entrepreneurs have been taken over by expatriates. Dr. Tom emphasized the need for stronger enforcement of regulations to protect local businesses and ensure that Papua New Guineans can compete fairly in the marketplace.
We see a lot of people going to the settlements, going to the villages, running trade stores and running small businesses that were supposed to be reserved for our indigenous people. Now, longer time now, people still wait long or line lo implementing misla na enforcing misla something. One time by you may enforcing misla. Because now people look at all trade store long all settlement and all line all kind line long all narapla country all running. All line from people also.
IFEDA called for government to prioritize local ownership and empower small businesses, which are crucial for economic development and community sustainability.
Mipla lukumosem inside long city blom mipla all online blom mipla come up marginalized na over the ground over something and all narpla no kloksim. So this la country and when you taking back PNG or you make kissing PNG and you may give him go back. This la government now. Slogan where you may come and talk, take back PNG. Are we really taking back PNG or are we giving it away to our friends and cronies?
An answer to this question will be provided tomorrow by the minister responsible, Win Bakri Daki. Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Jiwaka, Chimbu, Enga and Western Highlands provinces are on a 3-month drought alert. The National Weather Service says while the majority of Highlands region are now on a drought alert status, Gulf and NCD have continued to be in drought alert over the last 2 months, whilst Manus and Central have transitioned from what status to alert in the last month. Persistent dry conditions will most likely affect water resources and water-dependent crops. The Weather Office also confirmed that El Niño remains neutral. The submarine volcano eruption in the Bismarck Sea north of Papua New Guinea remains active, although Mineral Resources Authority Rabaul Volcanological Observatory says the eruption appears to be gradually weakening. Activity observed between 21st and 25th May 2026 shows steam, gas and small amounts of volcanic materials continuing to rise from beneath the ocean surface. While the eruption plume is now less vigorous than during its early stages, the ongoing activity has sparked a new question among observers and scientists alike. Could a new island soon emerge from the sea?
According to reports from the Mineral Resource Authority's Rabaul Volcanological Observatory, small amounts of ash are still present in the plume, showing that volcanic material and pumice continue to rise from the ocean floor. Floating pumice rafts are still forming on the sea surface, but they are smaller than previously observed. NASA Earth Observatory shared optical satellite imagery showing activity in near-surface water, including large plumes of discolored water and widely distributed steam and ash vents. Chief scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, Jim Gavin, shared that they are now eagerly waiting to see if a new island is about to be born, something that they have only rarely been able to observe with satellites as it happens. Gavin shared that if a new island does emerge, volcanologists will be watching it closely to see how it evolves. It could build a tough cone with a long-lived vent crater, or it could collapse and erode rapidly. The eruption could also take a much more explosive turn if seawater finds its way into the shallow magma chamber that has risen within the growing underwater structure. Furthermore, monitoring teams on the ground also detected ongoing heat signals and underwater acoustic activity, confirming that the volcano remains active beneath the sea. A magnitude 5.7 earthquake was recorded near the eruption site on the 22nd of May, the largest earthquake detected during the current activity, but it did not appear to change the eruption's behavior. The eruption is occurring in a remote part of the north-central Bismarck Sea and is not expected to directly affect communities. However, authorities say light ashfall may occasionally occur in areas downwind of the steam plume. The Rabaul Volcanological Observatory continues to monitor the situation closely and will issue further updates as required. Jasmine Rojak, TV1 News.
Furthermore, Gavin says the NASA Earth Observatory plans to analyze radar data from the NASA ISRO NISA satellite and the Canadian Space Agency's Radarosat consultation mission to map the contours of any new land that emerges and track how its shape challenges over time. If a permanent island forms, Gavin also sees opportunity for researchers or island nodes to visit the area and study how the infant island responds to plants and animals, colonization, rainfall, chemical weathering, and other erosive forces. The U.S. Embassy and Defense POW/MIA accounting agency hosted a repatriation ceremony at the APEC terminal in Port Moresby today. The ceremony was held to repatriate possible remains of American soldiers who died in World War II during a recovery mission exercise in Papua New Guinea. Two remains were repatriated during the ceremony.
The repatriation exercise was facilitated by the Defense POW and MIA Accounting Agency in partnership with the Papua New Guinea national and local government, as well as the Papua New Guinea Defense Force, the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, and the National Museum and Art Gallery. The team spent 117 days in the field at 5 sites across 3 provinces: East New Britain, Madang, and Morobe. One remain was found in Isipik and the other was recovered in Morobe province. The 2 remains are part of over 3,000 soldiers who died during World War II. The DPAA team also coordinated the turnover of remains from residents in Isipik province and Madang province through the efforts of locals who contacted the U.S. Embassy to begin the process of returning these Americans home after diligently watching over them for 80 years. U.S. Chief d'Affaires Alex Bernberg said the U.S. recovery missions in Papua New Guinea began in 1978, just 3 years after independence. Since then, the relationship has only grown stronger.
It's a testament to the unyielding promise that we will never forget those who served and sacrificed for our nation. Their work has brought us closer to reuniting these service members and their families, a success that we celebrate here today.
DPAA Deputy Director for Operations Navy Captain Megan Bodnar said the DPAA is committed to providing the fullest possible account for U.S. missing personnel to their families and the nation. To date, about 307 remains were discovered, with 2 remains repatriated.
We have to date identified 307 Americans from who were lost in Papua New Guinea, but that number changes all the time.
She said the remains will be transferred to the Daniel K. Inawe and possible identification as part of the agency's ongoing effort to account for U.S. personnel still missing from past conflicts.
A is a state-of-the-art forensic laboratory, and when the remains come back to the laboratory, we have a team of over 40 anthropologists who are able to take small samples and send it to a DNA identification lab that we have in Delaware, where we will work to extract the DNA from the remains and then match those to DNA that we have donated from the families who are involved.
Air Force Captain Malachi Sparling, Mission Commander, thanked the U.S. Embassy, the National Museum and Art Gallery, the Papua New Guinea Defense Force, and the provincial and local level leadership and the community for their support, which makes it possible to bring their grandfathers, fathers, and uncles home.
The locals from Hamlingan Village we worked with throughout this whole, since January to now, have been exceptional.
Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
Member for Talasia, Freddie Kumai, has called on the Minister for International Trade, Richard Maru, to investigate the growing dominance of foreign companies contracted under Sime Dabi through NBPOL in West New Britain Province. Kumai made this following growing concerns of foreign-owned companies, conglomerates being engaged in many construction contracts in the province.
Member for Talasia, Freddie Kumai, today urged Minister for International Trade, Richard Maru, to investigate the increasing dominance of foreign companies contracted under Sime Dabi or NBPOL in West New Britain Province. Kumai expressed concerns about the displacement of local Papua New Guinean businesses from key sectors including construction, civil works, oil palm estate replanting, and excavation contracts, which have traditionally been reserved for local companies.
Operator of New Britain Palm Oil Limited have now taken over many of these commercial opportunities. They are dominating construction and civil works, oil palm replanting, and excavation contracts, creating a de facto monopoly and marginalizing the local businesses in West Britain.
He also stressed the importance of protecting and promoting local enterprises to ensure sustainable economic growth and empower communities. Kumai called on the government to review existing policies and enhance support for local businesses in the face of foreign competition.
Will the Minister direct the relevant government agencies, namely the Department of Commerce and Industry, the Department of International Trade and Investment, the Investment Promotion Authority, the Internal Revenue Commission, PNG Customs Service, and the Department of Labour and Immigration to immediately travel to Western Britain to conduct a full investigation and audit into whether these companies are properly registered as foreign or PNG companies, whether they are subsidiaries or related entities of Sime Dabi conglomerate.
Minister for International Trade Richard Maru responded and told Parliament that his office was not aware of such allegations but will work with other relevant authorities to look into the matter.
Firstly, I want to state on record, my office is not aware of these allegations. This is the first time I've heard about it. Secondly, I want to assure the member that all he has to do now is reduce his question in writing to me as a formal complaint. Name the specific companies that you are referring to. How long has this been going on? So I can take a look at it and talk to my other colleague ministers, and we can, if we establish it's necessary, send in a full government investigating team to go and investigate the allegations.
Freddie Mo, TVWAN News.
Deputy Leader of Opposition and member for Hirikoyari Kit Iduhu has raised concerns on the floor of Parliament in regards to the Special Purpose Vehicle Authority created by the government to cater for the 4.27% Croton equity for the 6 provinces and landowners of the PNG LNG project. Iduhu is concerned that not one official from the plant site landowners and Central Province were appointed to the newly created special authority. He calls for a review into the appointments of the ex-officios to the board and make new appointments fair and transparent.
Deputy Leader of the Opposition and member for Hirikoyari Kit Iduhu has voiced serious concerns in Parliament regarding the Special Purpose Vehicle Authority established by the government to manage the 4.27% Croton equity for the 6 provinces and landowners involved in the PNG LNG project. Iduhu highlighted that no representatives from the plant site landowners or from Central Province have been appointed to the newly formed authority, raising questions about the inclusivity and fairness of the selection process.
The Governor for Hela, ex-officio Director Permanent, the Governor for Southern Highlands, ex-officio Director representing Southern Highlands Province, and the Governor for Gulf Province, ex-officio rotational every 2 years. Critically, Mr. Speaker, this board structure contains no dedicated seat for the plant site landowners of Hirikoyari in Central Province, and the very communities upon whose land the entire PNG LNG facility sits, where the capex and the marketability and commercial viability of gas is crystallized, where storage tanks are kept and marine export terminal is domiciled. The Governor of Central Province holds no ex officio seat, and neither do the plant site landowners.
Iduhu called for a comprehensive review of the appointments to the authorities board, emphasizing the need for transparency and equitable representation. He argued that the interests of local communities and landowners must be prioritized in order to ensure that the benefits of the PNG LNG project are adequately served and that all stakeholders have a voice in the governance of the equity.
And on face value, this decision of the NEC 64/2026 dated 8th April 2026 is divisive and oppressive and of course biased only in favor of certain interest areas or certain people in this country. This is completely against the dictates of the Constitution and the national goals and directive principles for equitable distribution of national resources.
Prime Minister James Marape, when responding, said the decision taken by the government was not to benefit only a segment of landowners, but all the landowners in the 6 provinces, including the plant site landowners.
They are included in this restructuring that is taking place. The 5 provincial governments, all in all, are included in this structure. I give you all a context. That 4.27% was given at the backdrop of landowners, especially landowners from Heights and landowners from Kudubu and Moran, and of course along the pipeline areas where proper landowner identification was not made as yet, inconsistent with Oil and Gas Act requirements.
Marape said the 5 provinces are all included in the Special Purpose Authority.
So it will be detached from Kumul Petroleum. It will be set up in a structure that is represented by all landowners from in the structure that we propose. If there are ways to improve this, I'm very certain we'll consider recommendations from the member concerned, because it represents our important people from the plant site. It's not meant to be exclusive. It's not meant for only one block or one people. It is a structure that embraces totality, the 60,000 landowners, from upstream all the way down to plant site.
Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
And in related news, recently appointed Director of Kumul Petroleum Board, Larry Andagali, has today announced his resignation from the board forthwith. Andagali, in a press conference, announced that he will be formally writing to the Prime Minister and make his intentions known.
In a press conference today, Andagali stated that he would be formally writing to the Prime Minister to convey his intentions and the reasons for his decision. He emphasized the importance of transparency and accountability, noting that he believed stepping down was in the best interest of the organization and the community. Andagali said he wants to focus on serving his people and fight for what's right for them in terms of benefit sharing. He further stated that his resignation will always pave way for the government to appoint other qualified Papua New Guinean to the board. Further details on his future plans and motivations behind this decision are expected in his official correspondence. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
In finance news, the kina closed unchanged at 0.2294 US dollars in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, our kina was buying 0.2219 US dollars, 0.3056 Australian dollars, 0.1826 euro, and 35.01 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, palm oil and crude oil closed higher, gold closed lower, and coffee, cocoa, and copper closed the day unchanged. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed unchanged ASX closed lower and all ordinaries closed lower as well. You are watching TVWAN News. More news after the break. Stay with us.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's One-Took wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Toks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's One-Took wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
When you're all in, anything can happen. Grab a Coca-Cola and enjoy the moment.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE.
Kids in Papua New Guinea love to smile and spread joy. And when they smile, it lights up our world. Come on, Mom, it's you first. Do the 1, 2, 3. Wake up. Brush your teeth. Smile. Let's spread some smiles in PNG with Colgate.
Use tu awesome condom and one way where you can abrusim seek HIV, STI na unplanned pregnancy. Tingim, use him condom long right way. Stop safe na look out him you yet. Use him condom all get a time. Suppose you know save long HIV status long partner blog you or suppose you got plenty partner. Use him condom good all get a time. Long haborusim seek HIV, STI na unplanned pregnancies. Use him condom banisim you yet na future blog you. This platok save ikam long National AIDS Council Secretariat.
Discover your home away from home at the Sidler Bay Hotel in Lorengau, Manus Province. Whether business or leisure, our modern amenities, delicious local cuisine, and serene surroundings will make you feel right at home. Book your stay now. Call 7496-3232 or email reservations@sidlerbayhotel.com.pg. Sidler Bay Hotel, where your Manus adventure begins.
Snacks Noodles. Tastier, but you like him more.
Thanks for staying with us. Governor General Bob Dadai has called on all government departments to present the annual report as required by law. Dadai issued this call following the presentation of the 2024 annual report from the Office of the Chief Justice.
Since taking office in 2017, Governor General Bob Dadai said the only government department that is consistent in reporting to the Government House is the judiciary through the Office of the Chief Justice. This begs the question of whether other government departments understand that they are also required by law to do so.
Subject to law. And so law doesn't count whether you big man or little man. You know, we have to, all of us have to be subject to the law.
The DICE said presenting annual reports signifies transparency and it ensures government departments are accountable for taxpayers' money.
That we are accountable to the people's money. Use it wisely, spend it wisely, and report it to the authorities. That way we know that money is well spent.
The Governor-General commended the judiciary for their effort and commitment in making sure proper procedures and processes are followed, one being the requirement of presenting annual reports.
To commend the judiciary, the Office of the Chief Justice, Public Solicitor's Office, Public State Solicitor's Office. They are doing a good job.
Chief Justice Gibbs said delay or ignorance of presenting an annual report to the head of state is disrespectful, especially for public servants.
Present their annual statements or annual reports. That is a requirement by law under the Constitution and by laws of the country. But our people are not doing that. And that is a disrespect to our head of state.
Sir Gibbs called on all government department heads to make it their responsibility to present their annual report to the Government House as it is required by law. Tracy Pa, TV1 News.
PNG does not lack laws to deal with sorcery accusation-related violence. It needs a proper implementation and enforcement of the existing laws. President of PNG Tribal Foundation, Gerald Bastin, expressed this while addressing recent media commentary calling for a review of the repealed Sorcery Act. Bastin says laws surround this topic are sufficient following review in 2013.
As an organization at the forefront of protecting victims and driving legal accountability, the Tribal Foundation notes that the gaps mentioned have already been directly addressed by robust, modern legislation. This includes advocating for and bringing to life the specific legislative amendments designed to target the root causes of sorcery accusation-related violence, most notably the laws regulating and criminalizing glassman or glassmithing practices. President Gerald Bastin said when the Sorcery Act 1971 was repealed in 2013, it was replaced by decisive amendments to the Criminal Code. This closed the loophole that previously allowed killers to use sorcery provocation as a legal defense. Today, violence or murder fueled by sorcery accusations is treated strictly as willful murder and assault and a violation of the recently updated Criminal Code pertaining to accusations of sorcery.
Now, law 2022, all passing this law Parliament. And law nuclear law and come up law Parliament law 2022. Now we'll put in law National Criminal Code. National Criminal Code. All mama, all walk law garden belong all walk law cow garden stop. Whole community come. Now holy more. Karen go na cookie more. Now suti mine go inside the body belong all, kati more, out of you sangoma. Now plenty all this la meri mi save long all go through. Mi lokimo sem plenty man na meri lo highlands now lo all get a half lo Papua New Guinea. All kisim this la heavy na country blow you me story finish. I'm winning plenty country but heavy blow you me. And now I'm go on top. Now this la passing before time blow before I'm no hot.
He said the organization continues to witness firsthand the devastation that sorcery accusations bring to families, particularly vulnerable women and children, and says the solution is not resurrecting an outdated 1971 law. Rather, it lies in aggressively enforcing the existing laws, including the restrictions on glassman and anyone making accusations of sorcery.
Number 2, tambu lo tokosen. Mi sutim tok sanguma lo one bla man lo one bla meri. Mi man lo community taso.
He said the challenge in Papua New Guinea is not a lack of law, but the implementation and enforcement of the existing legal tools.
2 all plenty all police all no clear lo this law, but now all work lo kisim service. Now with that all is killing man, all you need lo go lo calabus. Now you can go back. You walk one bla tok boom. Now it's like I'm gonna sleep low village flow plan and it's heavy and can lose my stop out.
The Tribal Foundation further called on all community leaders, media partners, and law enforcement officers to familiarize themselves with the current laws so they can collectively protect the innocent and prosecute the guilty. Jasmine Irajak, TVWAN News.
And that ends the news segment. Sports is next. Stay with us.
Meet UmiPay, your digital wallet from TISA Bank. Your gateway to seamless transactions. Withdraw cash anytime at your nearest TISA agent. Send money to family and friends.
Hello, son.
Anytime, anywhere. Top up and pay with just a scan. From taxis to coffee and small businesses, UmiPay makes every payment simple. UmiPay, powered by TISA Bank.
Life is about making memories, sharing new adventures. Go beyond the familiar. Don't let bacteria hold you back from experiencing the world. Protex uses natural antibacterial protection with flaxseed oil and eliminates 99.9% of bacteria. Free yourself. Go beyond with Protex.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE.
Papa will come close to Laos. Kaya no ready yet. Mak blame Belatia. Mom's too glorasta. Suppose him no ready. Ayo. Mamas lepas him lo paps. I'm sure him way blue me all get that.
Back to land that was stolen from us.
Don't you ever let go of our land. Your brother's going to come.
In violation of military discipline, conduct unbecoming of an officer, guilty of homicide.
I lead an elite private military company. I have a certain job. I'll think about it, sir.
Boss, I knew it. It's the hackers targeting scam ops. Codename Metamorphosis.
The next time you fail to collect their payment, I'll show you what a real beating is.
Sorry.
Sir!
We have a whole new season.
Can you believe it?
You're good to go.
Hot Rod Garage. Wednesdays 9:30 on Turbo.
In sports, the State of Origin Game 1 series is locked in for tomorrow, 8 p.m, and fans are already backing their teams for the big clash. The TV1 News Sports crew was in the Boroko area of Port Moresby today, speaking with rugby league fans about this State of Origin opener. More than 10 people shared their thoughts. Amongst them was a passionate New South Wales Blues supporter who is confident her Blues will come away with a win.
I support the Blues. Na meeting Blues pa win long. 24 na Maroons pa lose 6. Na first try ba Nathan Clary.
Taxi driver Paulos is an avid Maroon supporter and banking on his side to prevail over the Blues on Wednesday.
Me support the Maroons, meeting Maroons by win long 6 points because all favorite Blue me play in long Maroons. So.
Another fan stood firmly on the opposing side, tipping the New South Wales Blues to take out the Game 1 and explaining why he believes they have the stronger side this year.
Prediction blow me, Blues by win, lo 13 plus, because me got trust all Blues day one mangi, me got trust all na me got all good private players blow me to stop inside so.
One fan shared a different view. Although he proudly supports the Blues, he admitted his instincts were leaning towards Queensland.
Me support the Blues, but me looking now the selection. Me say also Maroons for winning all. Na first try number one. Yeah, number one Maroons for putting first try.
The TV1 sports team was expecting to see a stronger build-up around the city ahead of the match, like flags flying high on vehicles, as used to be 15 years ago. However, the build-up was not as good as it used to be. Nevertheless, fans are still showing that they still love their rugby league. This might change tomorrow as interest grows and excitement builds up towards to kick-off time. Watch the State of Origin live on TV1 Sports tomorrow. Mitchell Moses has been ruled out of the State of Origin Game 1 after injuring his hamstring at training. Canberra Raiders 5'8" Ethan Strange will make his debut in the halves for the New South Wales.
The New South Wales Blues have confirmed 5'8" Mitchell Moses will miss Wednesday night's State of Origin opener due to a hamstring injury. Moses was sent for a scan after sustaining an injury during Blues training in Gosford on Monday. The scans revealed a minor hamstring tear, according to the New South Wales Rugby League. Canberra Raiders 5'8" Ethan Strange will come in as the starting 5'8" for the Blues in Wednesday night's opener, marking his State of Origin debut. Canterbury Bulldogs' Matt Burton has been added to the Blues' 20-man squad. Blues coach Laurie Daly said Moses' injury was not serious, but he would not recover in time for Wednesday night's clash at Stadium Australia in Sydney.
He's out. Had a strain of the hemi, nothing major, but just too risky, only 48 hours out from a game. So Ethan Strange will start and Matty Burton will come to the bench.
Massive loss, isn't it?
Yeah, big loss, but like Origin, you expect nothing different. There's always unexpected things that happen. We've got a really good, strong group of young men. It won't faze them. They'll just move on. While it's disappointing for Mitch, big part of the team, but I think we're a bit older and wiser, knowing now that when you bring big groups of people in together, they've got to be ready to go at any stage. And Ethan's trained with us all week, so there's no issue.
Moses has played 6 Origin for the Blues, debuting in Game 3 of the 2021 series. The Parramatta star shone for the Blues in the series opener last year, helping New South Wales to an 18-6 victory over the Maroons at Lang Park in Brisbane. Injury took Moses out of the following 2 matches, which Queensland won to regain the Shield. Strange, at 21, has been a star of the NRL since making his first grade debut in 2023. He's enjoyed a breakout year in 2025, being named Dally M 5'8" of the year as he led the Raiders to their minor premiership. Strange has scored 19 tries in 55 matches for the Raiders, including 14 during the 2025 campaign.
Ethan's a player, and I like the way that he plays. And at this level, if you've got a strong running game and you want to challenge the defence, there's a lot of fatigue happens in Origin. So if he just backs his instincts, he'll play well. So I'm not worried about Ethan. But, he'll play well.
Terry Longwood, TVWAN Sports.
The Australian Rugby League Commission today announced that Chief Executive Officer Andrew Abdo will step down from his role to take up the position of Chief Executive Officer at the Tennis Australia. Abdo will remain in the role until 15 July 2026 to ensure a smooth transition and the completion of the upcoming broadcast negotiations with the ARLC Chairman Peter V'landys.
The ARLC has appointed Chairman Peter Valandis in an executive role until a new CEO is in place, ensuring continuity and stability for the game and experienced leadership for the key growth of opportunities and expansion of the game. Mr. Abdo said the decision followed careful consideration and comes at a natural inflection point after nearly 7 years as CEO.
Today's a pretty emotional day for me. I love rugby league. It's part of my DNA. And for the last 13 years, I've loved every aspect of being part of the sport. Rugby league has welcomed me into the family, and I've never felt more at home. When Peter and the Australian Rugby League Commission appointed me as CEO, my goal was pretty simple: to try and leave the sport in a better and stronger position than it was when I joined. Having said that, I was appointed during a pandemic, so it's relatively easy to achieve that given what was at stake when I first joined the game. It's not immediate. I'll be continuing as the NRL CEO until the 15th of July. For the next couple of weeks, my focus will be, as it's always been, and that is on the future of rugby league, making this game as strong as possible.
Mr. Abdo acknowledged ARLC Chairman Peter Valandis. ARLC Chairman Peter Valandis said Mr. Abdo has played a critical role in the NRL's progress.
Andrew will be here till the 15th of July. After that, yes, I will be taking on executive duties until a replacement is found. I've taken 4 months long service leave from my current role at Racing New South Wales.
Have you given any thought previously to being an executive chairman?
Look, it's not allowable under the Constitution at the moment, so the clubs would have to change the Constitution for that to happen. But as I said, today's about Andrew. It's not about me. It's about the great loss that we're suffering today with Andrew leaving to go to Tennis Australia. The only real good thing is going to Melbourne, so that's punishment enough.
The Commission will commence a process to appoint a new NRL CEO. Terry Long with TV1 Sports.
And now the weather forecast. In regional focus, southern Port Moresby, mostly fine though partly cloudy. Papaneta, partly cloudy, then possible evening rain drizzles. Momase, Lay, cloudy with rain drizzles. Madang, cloudy periods with occasional showers, rain and thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Kokopo, Rabaul, cloudy periods, then a shower or two. Buka, partly cloudy with some showers, rain. And Highlands region, Mount Hagen, cloudy with rain showers and possible thunderstorms. Mendi, Tari and Warbeck, cloudy periods with evening occasional showers, rain and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast for PNG areas for the next 24 hours. Coral Sea, sea slight to moderate with southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Solomon Sea, sea slight to moderate with southeast to southerly winds of 10 to 20 knots. Bismarck Sea, sea slight to moderate with east to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots. Pacific Ocean, sea smooth to slight with southeast to southwest winds of 5 to 15 knots. And coastal waters forecast, waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru to Kiwai Island, Kerema, Yule Island to Hood Point to Samurai Island, to Cape Vogel and Old Milne Bay Islands, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of Prince African through Vitia Strait to Siasi Long Island, to Madang, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of New Ireland and New Britain, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. And that wraps up another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by